So we're back. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way just because it's necessary to build the community. If you will, please like, subscribe, put on the notification, and share. Like, subscribe, notification, share. That being said, this is accountability. Sent out last couple of days. We need to try. Like I said, I wanted to pick up after missed the day we promised last week. I promised we'd have. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, there will be always videos. I'm going to try to make them for the most part of a nature where it's holistic in each video. So we need to have exercise in all videos going forth. I'm not saying that always will happen, but that's the goal right now. Spoke about the spiritual in the last video I released last night, and that I've acknowledged that a couple days back, one of the videos I was venting a little bit. The matter of fact is, I know what I believe and what I know to be true. And when I stated that I was frustrated and I was angry that I was trying to put behind me, there's truth in that. And I again apologize for using a video of the event. But I also said I didn't know, when I move forward. I know me well enough that once I had some space and such, and especially as healing moves forward, I'm going to always do what I can to help others. And I'm not going to shun them in that aspect ever. Doesn't mean that certain relationships I've had, or maybe you've had in your lifetime, don't change for what is the best interest of everyone involved. Those things do happen. But I always try to keep in mind, even if there's an evolution in the relationship that maybe in the past wasn't foreseen, or there's necessity that it take place for everybody's best interest and their health. Such, so be the case, but doesn't mean you still can't help people and still don't care. And so we'll make that clear. That being stated, I don't know about where you are. I know about where I am. And of course, the whole point of having this community is so we can open up and be honest where we are. And like I said, I want to get this where I'm actually communicating with you out there. Right now, the main thing is to know that I look down there and I see you watch. That makes me realize we're making a connection. There's something I'm doing for you, and just knowing that you're watching, then maybe I'm helping you helps me. So you can look at my situation, man. You look at me in here. I'm not gonna lie. Right now, I'm having a hard time getting up and down on seating. This is about as low as I can sit to the ground. Most things in the world are much lower than that. I managed to get out, but it's a struggle. Hadn't always been that way. It's gone that way the last few months, which is frustrating because some days when I'm on this bed, I can actually lift my back up, arching it, and reach up underneath me on some level. That hasn't always been the case. But what I do know is what we all have to realize is what got us here, as we spoke about before, and what is it while we're here that we have to acknowledge and then work on. Because here's the matter of the fact. I spoke to somebody, it's kind of funny, I've already stated this before. We have to be accountable to ourselves, first and foremost. I also need to understand that sometimes people that out there in the world, whether we're accountable to them or not, may have a different view of our situation, and sometimes that view can be one that is, how should I say, has more merit as far as the veracity of it, but at the same time, I want you to keep focusing on the fact that nobody knows you as well as you do. Now, that also means knowing that fact, you're going to have to be honest with yourself, even when it's difficult. And I'm having to do a lot of checking myself right now, and it's not good, but it is what it is. And so I myself, I'm just trying not to give in to propaganda and such, but rather at this point in time, my major focus is trying to focus in on creating a better life for myself. You know, that's somebody out there may question whether you love yourself or not. I know I've been questioning about it. Trust me, you don't. I'm not saying arrogance is a sign of love. I'm just saying I like myself a lot, so I'm not worried about whether I love myself. Not from the standpoint most people use that, but the fact that maybe I'm not allowing myself to have my best life because of where I've allowed myself to currently be, it does make me reflect and think, you know, there are changes you can make and need to make, and you'll get back your life and not merely having existence. So, like I said, for me, a lot of that is a piece I'm already starting to have again just by reconnecting to what little support group I have outside of, like, well, you know, someone like Diva Shay, but of course, in all fairness, even though she works for me basically as an employee, at the same time, her and her family spent time with me the other day when she was off the clock. So I cannot say I don't have a support group. I do know the other sense of support or support group I actually did have here locally was my spiritual family. But like I said, had not been engaging with them as I should have. So, at this point in time, what we need to do then is work on those things that help us move forward. And for me, right now, suddenly my knees are starting to have some issues. So we're going to try to strengthen our knees and such by strengthening our legs and such. So today, the first thing we're going to try to do, I thought about doing this weights, and I realized right now I'm not quite ready for that. But maybe next week or next time.
That's right. All right.
So, did you pause me? So, thank you, Diva Shay. Get a little too relaxed, but let's get going. So, we're going to do these knee lifts first, okay? Key thing you want to do is try to lift as high as you can. Keeping your, this is part hard for me, keep your hands on the bed so you're not rocking back. And I know it doesn't look like I'm getting much, and I may not, and you may not. But the key is keep working on this. Working on our hips, right here, our legs. All right, so if you notice I built up speed. I know we talked about control last time, and that is important, but right here, I'm trying to simulate walking on some level, because the walking itself is not really a problem for me at the moment, and can do it. It is requiring 2 canes a portion of the time, which is kind of weird, because last week, taking steps without the canes. A lot of ups and downs. You're just going to have to not give up. And like we said, to the paint. So I have a little pain right now doing this. That's something I have today that I didn't necessarily have last week. So, but we're going to push through, because come up the steps last night, not too difficult, didn't really get out of breath. But at the same time, like I said, getting up out of seating is hard right now. So we'll probably work on that next video. This one, I just want to focus on just trying to get some leg lifts of different sorts. So And maybe next time we'll even do some stuff where we're standing. So let's go ahead and do another set. I'm trying to do 10 with each leg. So let's do that. Here we go. All right, you really think, wow, that shouldn't be that hard. No, it shouldn't. But as my friend of mine told me yesterday, you didn't get to this place overnight. Obviously, it's going to take a while to get back to where you were. I will say, and he acknowledged that the downslide seems to go a lot faster, but it still doesn't usually happen overnight. Where I am right now is technically where ups and downs to this point over the last 6 years, really, but even starting about 10 years back. So you need to keep that in mind. Don't let it discourage you. Right now, we're just going to keep pushing through. That's what we're always going to do. We've got to push ourselves more and more. I haven't been doing that enough. That's why I need your support, is I need your encouragement to keep pushing. Let's go ahead and do another set. As you saw, trying to stay seated up straight. Try not to lean back. Try to lift up straight. Try to keep your hands in contact. So I'm going to lift up here and move back here, okay? Because I'm moving myself off the bed a little bit too much. That, there we go. All right, one of the things we need to be working on, and I had made mention of before, and this will help a lot of things. My dad did it years and years ago when he was younger, and it was basically the only exercise he did, but he was doing it all the time. I have a friend of mine, I know he and his wife had lost a vast amount of weight some years back, and they were doing it. And I went to school with a young lady who has helped other people lose a bunch of weight and such, and this is one of her primary things. Again, she reaches out to me. I hope she's watching these videos. I'm sending to her. I love for her to help collaborate some way, not just to help me, but to help you all. She knows a lot. There's another young lady, actually, who was in a school where I taught, same kind of thing. They reach out to me and say, hey, they want to get on board. Love to have them. We're learning more and more. We'll figure out how to get it where we can stream them in, all right? So we're going to be doing that here forward. Shay didn't know that. Till we get everything running. That's how we're going to spend the rest of our days here forward, is other than shooting these videos right now the best we can. We're going to learn how to, the rest of our time is going to just be study until we're up really doing it the real way we need to. And I'm going to do a lot. I got to do more of that on my own when she's not here, but even when she's here, until we get it figured out, that's how we're going to spend our time. So, here we go. So we're going to do this breathing technique, okay? Here's what I like to do when I do it. And young lady I went to school with thought, oh wow, hey, that's the way to really be gung-ho about it. So I'm going to do this breathing technique. What we're going to do is we're going to do it, I like to try to do it minimum of 10 times. Sometimes I try to go for 20, okay? I might stop in between for a couple of seconds on some of them, especially every couple or so. Do it in pairs of 2s or 4s. Seems to work best for my mental state to get through it. But basically, again, we want to sit up straight. We want to stay seated up straight. You want to breathe in through your nose. Then you're going to hold it. And when you breathe out your mouth, okay? I'm going to hold it for 10 seconds. We're going to see if we can do 20 of these. Knock them out real quick. And you need to do this every time you can think about doing it during the day. I say you do at least a minimum 3 to start with. That'd be good. All right, so here we go. 3 times a day at least. So here we go. Take a breath in. So simple. Breathing is what we do every day. So if you notice, I try to really pull in, because what we're trying to do is work on these ab muscles around here. You see all that, your abdominal. So I can't get too technical about it. I just know where I feel it, and I know it has helped in the past with me. So here we go again, number 2. Hold it tight. Try to release it slowly. Breathe in slowly would be probably best too. The other thing is, when you do your count, do a 1001, 1002 type count. Here we go again. Alright, that's 10. We're already at halfway point. Now, if you're doing this right, especially if you're house shaped like me, this is actually going to help strengthen your whole core. You won't even feel it like in your back muscles and such, because this really does more than just your stomach and such. This really strengthens your whole core. Who would have thought breathing is one of the best techniques? My goodness, Pilates, that gentleman there. From what I understand from the individual I went to school with, he was the one who helped, like, how should I say, really put this technique out to the public, that they started using it. Like I said, my dad used to do something like this when he was young. He would just stand in line at the grocery store, and until he got to the to the cashier, he'd be doing that. Just same thing. So let's do 10 more. Here we go. I'm going to try to always be real. That's something that Brother Bill told me. Oh, my friend said to always be real with people. Put it out there. Don't be taking that glorified snapshot. Oh, look, I'm on a great balcony, and if you back out 10 feet and actually you see a whole bunch of hobos laying beside me out in the street with a bunch of garbage around them, and I just happen to be standing in front of a backdrop that had been painted on on a wall, on a smooth wall that looks like Paris or something. You get my point? So that's the reason you're seeing this raw. The reason we don't edit these particular ones, because with accountability, It's all about understanding where we are, each of us, and where we are going. Because remember, we're supposed to be people in major progress. So I have to make some progress. You have to make some progress. If I'm not making some progress, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not really leading. And I'm not gonna lie, weight is something that I need to work on, but mainly I would like to see my mobility come back and hopefully the weight along with it. So that's the main thing for me. That's my goal of all, is get my mobility back when I'm not walking with canes, and I can get back up and down easily, including off the floor, like pushing off the floor with one knee, no hands. I've done that within, well, it's been 10 years now, but it was a time. And so I know I can get there again. All right, we were on 2. Let's get these last 8 out of the way. Notice there was one in there where I didn't really keep my control. Always try to work on control. Helps the muscle. Helps strengthen them. All right, here we go. Got about 4 more. Let's do them. Okay, again, if you are doing these right, one of the things that is obviously going to help is going to help strengthen your lungs too.
Yes.
So this is a very important exercise. We need to always do this one. Make sure Diva Shade, make sure we do this one at least at the beginning, ending, somewhere in each one of these videos. Because it's also a good time when you're doing that. Clear your mind. The better, easier you get at doing it, it becomes easier for you. Try to use that time to clear your mind. Think about spiritual things, things like that. Things to get your mind off some of the pressures in life and focus on, the place, those things that bring you peace even. Something positive. Which reminds me, we've done those 10, or 20, pardon me. But when you're out of shape and big as I am, you might even break a little sweat from doing the breathing. Not much, but a little, okay? So, another thing we talked about, the young lady that had been in the school where I taught, never had her in class, but she was there. She always talks about positive acclamations. We need to do those each time. We haven't done that in the last couple of videos. We want to make sure we add that in every time too, in somewhere. Let's go ahead and do some right now. I want you to look in your mirror, if you have one at home, or maybe you're watching this, here, and you see my big tail end, you can speak to me. It's better in a lot of ways to see yourself. I think it's cheating kind of, but since I can see myself, I'm going to count this as my reflection. It's a mirror image, so here's what we're going to do. So we're going to say something. You say at least 5, I'm going to say at least 5, okay? I am worthy of being loved. Sometimes I struggle with that, but we'll focus on that later because right now we're being on the positive end of it, which is what I'm worthy of being loved, okay? I I'm intelligent. I have something to offer the world. I am talented. I am loving and caring and kind. That's 5. Again, that doesn't mean that should be the only ones you say about yourself today. But at least 5 every day. Like I said, find a time outside of this. If you're saying it with me now, find a time when you're actually looking at yourself like I am now, in a mirror or something, and say those things. I don't care if you got a video of yourself saying them, as long as you're looking at you. You know why? It's like I used to tell my students. The one person you have to live with all your life have to live with is who? Is it your mama? No. Even Shay may want her children to live with her forever, but that ain't gonna happen, just like she did live with her mama forever. I know my mama, some ways always said, get out of her house, get out of her house, but until the day she died I was living with her. That's just the truth. Poor thing was losing her mind. Everything else was different in her world, but Thurman was still living with her in her mind, okay? So even though I wasn't, I hadn't been for, at that point, almost 4 or 5 years. So, anyways, moving past that, the point is, and I'm sorry about my name there, because this is not about me as an individual. Like I said, this is about relating to one another. My point is that it's not your mama, it's not your daddy, it's not even your spouse. I hope you have a long life with them. Don't get me wrong, I hope you have what my grandparents had, 64 years together, like my parents, 52 and a half years. That's wonderful. That's a blessing. And it's great to have someone that connected to you and that you love that much and they love you that much. That's what we all desire that. I get that. But the matter of fact is, my dad passed before my mom. Almost 2 whole years. You see what I'm saying? Actually, it was 2 whole years plus. So my point is, actually, it was 3 almost. Yeah, almost in the 3rd year. Still, sorry. Here's my point. That's not who you have to live with the rest of your life. You see that? Well, you don't. Well, yeah, you do, because you're looking at this video. You see that fat man right there that you're looking at? He's the same one I'm looking at. That's who I have to live with the rest of my life. You get up and go look in your mirror right now, and that's who you have to live with the rest of your life. No matter what, you don't have to live with anybody but yourself the rest of your life. So you better be comfortable in your own skin. You better be comfortable with who you are as a human being. And that's why we're here, because maybe we're not so comfortable. I want you to understand, no matter what anybody may perceive and what people may comment and state, I'm going to tell you honestly. I'm going to be honest. Maybe I'm a little narcissistic. Okay, fine. But I believe we really are living in a narcissistic society, because the fact that that's even a mental disorder, yet I can tell you so many people that accuse other people of being narcissistic, and they're some of the most self-centered people that I've ever met in my life. What a lot of people do is they tend to deflect. Okay? We like to take our truths and pin them on other people. So I'm going to admit to you, I'm somewhat a narcissist. In spite of what you may see here, and this may not, and I will say, maybe I don't love for myself from the standpoint of what love yourself really should mean, not the way most people use it, which is, have I set myself up to take and put myself in the best possible situation to attend to my needs? No, I haven't. And in that way, if you want to debate with me whether I love myself, fine. But if you're going to debate with me whether I love myself because of my weight, my looks, or whatever, no, you don't know me. Trust me, I'm still one of my favorite people, okay? Maybe that's why I'm alone, okay? But that being stated, I just try to make you think for yourself, where you're at, and realize that you got to be comfortable with you. And if you're not comfortable with you in certain ways right now, that's why we're all here. Okay? I want to be more comfortable with me from the standpoint I want to be more mobile. Everything else about me, believe it or not, I'm pretty much pleased with. You know, there's some little other aspects that are personal. I ain't gonna talk to you about them. Okay. I have my people I speak to about those. Okay. But I'm just saying we all have that. Point is, do what you need to do. That when you look in the mirror, when you see that thin, tall person, or that short person, or that blonde-headed person, or that brown-headed person, or that blue-eyed person, whatever, you know, that people distinguish you, that they use to identify you. You know, I'm the long-haired fat man with the goatee. Sure, okay, whatever. You know, that's fine. I realize that's who I am. But that's not all there is to me, and I'm comfortable with what I see in that mirror 99% of the time. And the things that I'm not, I need to work on. And if I don't, then I only have myself to blame if they haven't changed. With that being said, we're going to get off our soapbox, fold that up, put it back underneath the bed. We're not all here for a sermon today. There's your sermon for you. We're done. Now let's get back to some actual exercises. So first thing we want to try to do, again, keeping our hands flat, staying seated up straight. We're going to lift our leg, hold it, okay, and then bring it back down. Lift it, hold it, bring it back down. Now, I'm real big on balance. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to not count those two for me. We're going to do 10 each leg again. And I'm going to hold it at least 5 seconds, okay? I'm going to go ahead and try 10. You try, do what you need to do, 5, 10, whatever, right? Even if it's just one, okay? Try to be consistent so you have balance, strengthening both sides. Here we go. 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, 1,004, 1,005, 1,006, 1,007, 1,008, 1,009, 1,010. Now, part of the reason I need to do that right now is because I need to strengthen these muscles back around my knee. My knees are weak anyways, and my weight does not help that. But I'm starting to have problems in the last few weeks that I hadn't had with them in a long time. And that's part of the reason why, is because these muscles used to compensate. So we're going to get them back where they can, okay? So, and this helps that some. It's not necessarily the best one, but you can feel it. You can feel it right around here, okay? If you're doing it correctly. Here we go. 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, 1,004, 1,005, 1,006, 1,007, 1,008, 1,009, 1,010. Now, if you had some weight, I'll let that go down too fast. I do everything with control. This is, if you're doing this on a weight machine, or leg extensions right there, that's what this is basically. And again, so this is a legit one. We'll probably next time put on the leg weights. I don't know if I could do that today. I don't think I could with marching. This feels a lot better after we already did the marching though. So hey, who knows? Maybe we should have done it anyways. Alright, here we go again. Try to get these last 8. Not really stop and talk like I've been doing. Alright, so second set. Here we go. Control when you come down. When you go back up, remember, try not to lean back. Sit up straight. Should be a third set. Trying to hold it in the same position. If you notice, my legs getting a little shaky. That's good. It means we're working on it. Now I got a hip that's got a problem over here, like I told you before. I need to try to work on getting that toe up. I told you if that toe rolls out, you get a hip problem. Alright? Other thing is, it's as good as shaky. I'm working hard, but it's bad because I should have never got to that point. So keep that in mind. But don't feel discouraged. That's my point. That's good. It's Good, that means you're working hard. Right. When I'm doing this right, I should be feeling this over here too, where I am in the hip a little bit. All right. So, the young lady I went to high school with often stated, you know, when you haven't had any movement, maybe that's why you're here. You're not moving as much as you need to. That's what caused my problem. Just start moving. I say ultimately try to start at 3 minutes. If not, get whatever you can. It doesn't have to be doing what we're doing. If all you can do right now is do this, manage to get to the edge of your bed and raise your cane like this and do this 10 times or whatever, that's a start. I'm not going to say that that's where you want to stop. Push yourself as far as you can any given day, and then the next day do something else, you know, that your body can do, and push it as hard as it can. And to the pain, right? We want to keep doing that. So that being stated, 3 minutes. That's what she said. That's the length of about one song, y'all. It's not that much. I got a friend of mine. He told me yesterday evening 7 minutes is what he's doing right now. But that's 7 minutes more than he was doing before. You see? So, we're actually doing pretty good if you follow through with these videos. Yes, we take a lot of rest, we talk and such. But, you know, the videos run about 19, 30 minutes, some of them. Okay, there's a good portion of that, though. You know, it's still being done working out. So we'll say maybe we're getting at least 10, okay? Maybe, you know, maybe that's just, you know, maybe that's a little high, but I think that's probably fair right now. 10, maybe 15 even some days. Is that great? No. Do we want to eventually get to a full 30 where yes? Eventually maybe not, sure. But right now, it's about building and doing what we need to do to get to that next step so we can increase the reps, increase the amount of time, so on and like. All right. Let's see. Speaking of time, because I know everybody's time is valuable. Here's what we're going to do on this next one. Because we're fixing to have to feed USA coming up. So we're going to do one here so we can all try a different one. If you want to go back and do 2 more sets of 10 reps apiece with the leg extensions, I suggest it. For today's video, we're going to move on to it because I want to do at least 3 exercises every time. The breathing is one, but we want to stay in those exercise focused. The breathing, you do every time, period. You understand when you're doing arms or legs any given day, that core needs to be worked on always. You know, when I was young, they said that there was a gentleman on my internship that he stated, Thurman, you got one of the strongest cores I've ever seen in my life. If you can get some, if we can get some up on your shoulders, it's good. We got it there. And he was right. And you know, as I've gotten out of shape, you think, well, the big, yeah, the big gut don't help. But I always, over many years, I carried a big gut. Maybe not as big now, granted, but a big gut. And my core made up for that big gut because I kept it in shape and it was strong. Why it's been hard for me and why I'm starting to finally feel certain things I got to do, like arch my back enough to get something pulled out from underneath me, is because that core is getting stronger again. You understand? Core is the central to all things, man. That, and I'm not gonna lie, your legs carry them right here. Don't get me wrong, arms are great and they help you out a lot. When I couldn't use this arm at all, I didn't realize how much I used my arms in my life. But guess what? My legs were still pretty good at the time. My core was in better shape than it is now. I made up for it. I can do that with my... You can't really do that when you lose your legs or your core. There's no way to make up for those. You can make up. Please, for those of you out there that don't have arms, don't let me try to act like you know what I'm saying? I don't know your plight, but I know you've adapted. You know what I'm saying? I know the young lady got her... Well, she was actually on the national news because she got, I don't know her personally, I've seen her in real life because my sister went to the same school as she did. She was one of the ones that got her arm bit off by a shark, and she taught herself how to write with her feet, and you see what I'm saying? You can compensate for your arms and your hands somewhat. You can't really compensate for your legs the same way, or your core. So, anyways, I don't want to get too political or upset somebody and say something wrong. If I did, not meant to offend you. I'm just trying to stress how important our core and our legs are to our survival and our movement. Okay? All right, here we go. So, but there's a lot of us that, you know, get through life even without legs, and strong core, I think most of us try to have, though. And we don't. We notice it. Here we go. We're going to try this. We're just going to do side step 1, side step 2. Well, hopes if I get this out of the way. Okay. Side step 1, side step 2. I want to pick my foot up, not drag it. Okay. Might want to keep it low to the ground, but not drag. Now again, I'm going to lean back. You see that? We don't want to do that. There you go. Sit up straight, no dragging. You basically touch out here, bring it in. Touch out here, bring it in. Touch out here, bring it in. Now, something I did learn and found out, and I think it was actually the young lady I went to high school with who pointed out, you actually burn more calories than it is you build more muscles doing side steps, and when you're doing step back, step forward, one of these kind of techniques, whether it's aerobics or whatever, because of the muscles that are used. And you can feel your hips being used in this. So I need to rebuild this hip again. That's what, why I'm doing this part. So we were like at 6. 1, 2. Okay, I tried to not let my body move too much, but if you notice, when I got to rolling, I was throwing a little hip there, like I was dancing, and that's the only thing I can do is chair dance right now. But you know why? There's a part of me that used to dance, and if I can get back to that point, that's really good exercise. You see what I'm saying? So, anyways, that's what we're going to do for today. I did about 20 there. Try to do 10, 15, 20 like that. One here. So that's next set 2, 2. Okay. Try to do everything that you can. 3 sets. If you can do 10 reps of it, that's great. Keep in mind if you're doing reps and there's somewhere you hold it, try to see if you can hold it at least 5 seconds. If not, if more, 10. Do whatever you can. You might even build up to 20. But that being stated, I appreciate you joining us again. Remember, this is for all of us. Yes, it encourages me, and I need you. I need you to tune in. I need you to tune in. I need you to subscribe so we can build this culture together. But I'm doing this in part because, yes, I didn't want to make this journey alone, but I thought in the process there might be somebody else out there that feels like I do right now, feels quite a bit alone. And hey, let me tell you, we've talked a lot about that in the last few days. Like I said, I've hit a point that I realize if I'm where I need to be spiritually, even those that I feel like maybe didn't show up and they were fair weather friends, I know me, I know honestly I want to be there when they need me. Okay, and that's where we all should be. I personally feel. At the same time, I also know we have to build some boundaries so that people don't take advantage of us and such, especially when we're vulnerable. So, and in these times like this, if you're like me, I came to the realization it's just a reality where I'm at. Outside of Diva Shay, and I'm grateful because she spent time outside of work with me, so that tells me she really genuinely cares. But my support group is very small, and really, in a lot of ways, at times feels non-existent. Sometimes you just gotta have to man up or woman up or however you want to say it, and do it ourselves because that's where we are in life. And no one man is an island unto itself. I still strongly believe that, and we're only as strong as the weakest link in our support group. But there are moments that we do have to stand alone, that we're sometimes out in the woods by ourselves. Okay? And when that happens, it's up to us. Like I said, we were laying on that floor in there in that bathroom. There ain't nobody here. I got to crawl back. I have to get to this phone to get the help I need. And so that's what we're doing. We're trying to create a situation where we're doing all we can.
This is a reminder. USA needs to have lunch.
It's time for USA to have lunch. All right, it's time to go. So this is accountability. Hey, do what? Like. Subscribe. Put on the notification and share. We'll see you next time.
All right.